Hello, and welcome to another video. Today, we're going to be discussing how to build a better B2. And we're going to start by looking at the 2025 Star Wars Advent Calendar official B2-EMO. Now, if you've seen the channel for a while, you'll know that I am quite the avid Andor appreciator. I absolutely love Andor, and I like Lego a lot too, so I'm happy to get any official Lego Andor collaborations that I can. However, I will say that I am quite disappointed in this B2. Because, I don't know, to me, I've been thinking about it, and my kind of little tinfoil hat theory on it right now is that I think it may have been a concept model from the Ambush on Ferric set that they ultimately ended up removing before the set came out, and then ended up just putting in this year's Advent Calendar because it was all droid themed. But obviously I have no confirmation on that. I just find it a bit odd that, for example, if we turn the model around to view it from the side, for some reason the front pods there are twice as big as the rear pod, or the little wheel pods. I'm going to call them pods, which isn't accurate. Like in the show, they're both the same size. I think it's because they do extend a bit forward and back from the body, which this model does accomplish by having it be half a stud wider than the body on each side. However, the really odd thing is that both sides contain a yellow rear foot, or rear pod, which I'm not sure how they got wrong, because this is the only version of B2 that I've seen that has both back feet as yellow. And presumably that's just something they didn't check, I guess. Because, and we'll get to in a second, but Lego does make this part in dark red. So there's really no reason that they couldn't have just included a dark red one in here instead of two yellow ones. You can see I've got this bag tag here. Even that has the one yellow foot. That's it. I like these bag tags. I've got one on my car keys, but yeah, it's a bit odd that they included two yellow pods. I also don't like there's no gap at the bottom. Like B2 or this version sits completely flat on the ground, which I'm not really sure why. Because you might argue that it's so that it can connect to studs, but these pieces don't allow it to connect to studs. Because they're so flat and on the same level as the studs, if you had a regular base plate, this version of B2 would not connect. And again, just for reference, the bag tag here even bothered to include that little elevated bit of the body. So you might be saying that, the limitations of the Lego system. And it's not really. We're going to go through a few different models that I've made and kind of compare them. So this was my first initial model. I gave it kind of the classic color scheme that we see from the flashback. It's not perfect by any means, but I did manage just by using the alternate hinge piece here, or not hinge, panel piece, to maintain that slight gap underneath the front, as well as I gave him an orange eye, just because I think that's more accurate. I have seen other depictions with a red eye, but I think if you look at the show, it's more accurate with the orange eye. I also included a flat red tile on the top instead of a rounded tile, because while I understand that there is a slope to B2's head that they can't really accomplish, I think they should introduce a 2x2 ingot piece that would be great for that. But unfortunately, right now they can't. I still think that the regular square just looks better than the rounded circle. So that's why I went with the square, and you can see I gave him the one yellow foot. I did use, I believe it's bright light orange, just because I think that's a better color for it. But then moving on to prototype number 2, I've got this version that I tried to color match more so, more using the dark red, because I do think that's more accurate for the mainline B2 that we see. I did try to incorporate that line, which, you can see even on the keychain version, they have that green line. I do think that ultimately the best way would be a Speed Champions-esque printed line on the side of the plate. But, ultimately that's a detail that I can see being left behind because of how slim it is. But you can see on the feet that there's that piece in dark red, so I don't know why they didn't include it with the Advent Calendar version. Seems like it would have been really easy to include, but for whatever reason, they didn't. But moving on to our pretty much last prototype here. And this one obviously does not color match, but I wanted to try and actually extend the pods, because you can see on the previous 2 models that I did that they are just the same width as the body, which obviously in universe is not how that is. So I didn't quite have the colors to do it, but I thought that including those panel pieces, I think that's what they are. They're the stud on top pieces, but including those on the side allows it to once again still maintain that slight gap above the ground. But you could obviously, I would color the end piece as well as that panel piece dark red for 3 of them, and then bright light orange on this one. This model, because I inverted some parts, it does allow you to adjust the head to look side to side. You can't look up and down, which, isn't great, but it's still more mobility than the Lego model that does not swivel whatsoever. So I thought that would be neat. But so, yeah, I don't know. Overall, I'm not saying that this is the worst B2-EMO ever, right? Like, it's not. It's still an okay representation of the character. It just disappoints me because this is going to be the only official version of B2-EMO for the foreseeable future, honestly. Like, the only other time that we're going to get a buildable B2-EMO or a figure scale B2-EMO is with a large buildable scale B2-EMO, which, hey, Lego, if you're listening, that's a lot better of an idea than your really crap buildable BB-8 that you're coming out with. Just saying, like, you could raise and lower, and you could adjust the head back and forth. It's already on wheels, so it goes back and forth, but, whatever, I guess. Like, if they want to, make sequel sets that are already way too overpriced that aren't going to sell regardless, that's their prerogative, I suppose. But, yeah, just kind of disappointing that this couldn't have been better. So I don't know. I would hope that, especially on these characters that we're going to see once in maybe ever, at least in like 10 years, right? I would hope that Lego would pay more attention to detail. But that's really it for this video. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.